Thank you very much, Christian. I think I can begin to boast that AfriNIC is very precise. Everybody is doing 9 minutes, 30 seconds. So, Gail, let's see how you do on this. I know the result, I'm just asking, okay?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gail Fall, and for those of you that haven't met me or haven't seen me at an AfriNIC meeting, I am the head of communications and PR as of July of this year, 2014. I will be giving you the communications update, but for the past 6 months. So, did I turn it off? Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Okay. This is the structure of the department. The Communications and PR department houses the marketing and PR with marketing and PR manager Vimala Turon. The events coordination, Julie Auverdin, who is our events coordinator. The technical writing and editing, who is Achille Ugara. And the corporation and development project, which is mostly FIRE, that is managed by Patricia Senghor. The objectives that were set for the communications department were to have an outreach program to outreach to potential members. Of course, optimize the event participation and coordination, enhance our communication tools, and also optimize on our partnerships and our project initiatives. As all of my previous colleagues mentioned, we have been recommended for ISO certification, and in the communications department, we had 4 processes that were recommended for certification, which were content management, event coordination, branding management, and our quality objectives for the communications department. Sorry. Okay, so just real quickly, we'll give you a few updates on our marketing and PR, our different AfriNIC events, our FIRE program, the AfriNIC publications, and of course our regional and global participation, along with the AfriNIC Government Working Group and AfriNIC 10 Years, a celebration. For marketing and PR, apart from, of course, all the communications and the PR that we do in general for all of AfriNIC's projects, such as the Internet Routing Registry, the Whois, the new member portal, the associate member portal, any and all of the communications are actually coordinated and channeled through the communications department. But more specifically, we do a lot of PR during our trainings, and the ones that we covered this year were in Djibouti, Nigeria, Chad, South Africa, Senegal, Tanzania, Swaziland, and also Cameroon coming up next week after AfriNIC 21. We also participated at iWeek this coming September, where 250 potential members were identified pre-hand, and we were able to meet with about 50 potential members that we are hoping and looking to turn into actual AfriNIC members with, of course, the coordination of the member services and registration services. The different AfriNIC events, of course, we have 2 events per year, one that we do in coordination and in collaboration with the AF Stars, AFNOG, AFTLD, the AFREND, ISOC, and the ICANN African Bureau. Along with that, we also have our standalone meetings, such as AfriNIC 21. Our next AIS meeting is going to take place in Tunisia, and AfriNIC 23, our meeting for November 2015, the call for hosting has been launched, and we're hoping to have the results by the time we should be publicizing the location by AIS 15. If you want to go to any of our previous meeting websites, you can find them at this link. Regarding our FIRE program, the FIRE program is our Fund for Internet Research and Education program, which is our grants and award program that is designed to encourage and support the development of solutions to information and communication needs in the African region. And the FIRE program is also part of the Seed Alliance, which is also a sister program to FRIDA, the similar program that exists in LACNIC, and also ISIF Asia, the similar program that exists at APNIC. And since June, we had a round of awards, and the awards actually give a prize to already implemented projects, innovative projects, and they receive a $3,000 prize and a $4,000 travel grant to allow them to attend the Internet Governance Forum. And usually during the Internet Governance Forum, there is a award ceremony where the other two regions are also bringing in their award recipients, and they all get to mingle and network with each other, and also get to network with the community while also being recognized at an international platform. And this year we had 20 submissions from 12 different economies, and our winners were, we had Affaires Mobile Benin from Benin. We had Open Education Resources from Kenya. We had M. Jangale from Senegal, and Luo Buo from Côte d'Ivoire. And the three different branches through which we choose these awards, or through which these awards are chosen, were Innovation on Access Provision, E-Development, and Freedom of Expression. This year, we did not have a project on freedom of expression. However, there was a project that was, there was something that we started this year, which was the Community Choice Award, where it was the community that had the chance and the opportunity to choose their preferred project, and that project was Luor Bor. For the AfriNIC publications, we are getting ready to publish our AfriNews second issue, and also our Number Crunch 1.0, which is actually the numbers resource statistic report on IP and AS numbers usage in Africa, which is due to be published in December. So look out for it. As far as our regional participation, which also falls under the communications department because we take care of external affairs as well, AfriNIC participated at the African IGF, which took place in Abuja, and our chair, Sunday Folayan, had the opportunity to represent AfriNIC. We also participated at the Southern African IGF as well in Lilongwe, Malawi. And we were represented by Paulos Nyerenda, as well as AfriNIC board member. We participated in AFPIF in Dakar, Senegal, and Alain Aina did a presentation there in the name of AfriNIC. And unfortunately, although we contributed to the West African IGF as a sponsorship, it did not happen. It didn't take place due to the Ebola epidemic. Also, our global participation. AfriNIC is part of the NRO, the Numbers Resource Organization, which actually regroups all 5 RIRs. And this year, AfriNIC was the chair of the organization, and the chairmanship usually shifts from one RIR to the next. Being the chair of the NRO for this year, all the other coordination groups that exist are also being chaired by AfriNIC. Therefore, with the communications department, we chaired the Public Affairs Coordination Group and the Communications Coordination Group. And as the NRO, and participating as one of the members of the NRO, we had a strong presence at ICANN 50 in London and at IGF in Istanbul. A lot of the messaging that we coordinated really revolved around the IANA oversight transition. This was the biggest of our messaging. But we also have a publication that we bring out every year, which is the IPv6 Around the World and the Continuing Cooperation Brochure. And you can find all of these on the NRO website at nro.net. As the PAC-G, we helped coordinate the RIR Accountability and Governance Matrix, which can also be found on the nro.net website. And we also participated as observers and Sector D members at the ITU Plenipotentiary in Busan, South Korea. We also coordinate the AfriNIC Government Working Group, which was an initiative that was launched by AfriNIC to be able to facilitate the collaboration between governments and our community. And we had our 10th meeting yesterday, actually, and we had a very, very good turnout. It facilitated the conversation between governments, regulators, and our technical community. And some of the agenda points that were discussed were the IANA oversight transition. Actually, that was the only point we got to discuss in the 2 hours that we met. But we also had an IPv6 for decision makers session, which really brought about some interest in getting some IPv6 training tailor-made for our governments and regulators. Last but not least, AfriNIC will be celebrating, or AfriNIC is celebrating its 10 years anniversary. We are starting the celebration roughly just giving you a little bit of teasers with our theme this year, but the major of the celebrations will happen throughout the 2015 because AfriNIC was recognized as a regional internet registry in April 2005. So we launched a 10 years logo competition. This is not to change the AfriNIC logo, but this is to have a 10 years logo that we can have and use as branding throughout the 2015 year. And we were able to have over 20 submissions. And what we'll do is we are going to ask for volunteers in the community to help us to choose a winner that will be announced late this year or early next year, January. We're planning on doing some activities around the 10 years anniversary, mostly to be done in Tunisia during the Africa Internet Summit. And hopefully we'll be closing out these celebrations at AfriNIC 23 in November. We are looking to do a 10 years publication, of course, if resources allows, documenting the 10 years history of AfriNIC from its inception to today. Now, if you're not if you're not subscribed to any of our mailing lists, we invite you to subscribe to our mailing list. This is the best way that you can remain informed of all of AfriNIC's events, activities, projects, anything. We usually publicize them on these different mailing lists. So for more information or to actually see the whole, all of our mailing lists, you can just go to list.afrinic.net. And along with everything else, we also do social media, which you will see here. That's why I didn't add a slide regarding social media. But we invite you to follow us on Twitter, to like us on Facebook, and to check out our pictures, anything and everything on Flickr. We also have a YouTube channel, so I invite you to also check out our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Gail. I'll try to recover the time, but well done, well done. All right, so Neria, let's see how many minutes you will give me.
Good afternoon, everyone. So let me first take you through our 2014 objectives. Our end goal in 2014 was to put in place the various pieces of the puzzle so as to ensure a strengthening of our team, of our infrastructure, improve our change management process, and also ensure that we have a sound business continuity plan. You may recall in 2013 we started by engaging a lot of efforts in the revamp of our data centers, our infrastructure. We adopted the strategy of having a distributed service across many data centers that will be virtualized. Mauritius is now completely virtualized. Johannesburg, we put all the pieces together, configured, installed, and we're busy completing the migration of all our services from the old to the new infrastructure. In Cape Town, for the time being, we still host one of our training pods. Up until now, our recovery plan was solely based on backups. Our strategy was to make sure that we reduce our recovery time objective while increasing our recovery point objective. And we intended to do so by a site-to-site replication at a storage level. We are also very busy with the community lab that we promised and expect to have it completed during the first quarter of 2015. Some of the projects infrastructure has been very busy on, the mail and mailing list review. We've completed all the work related to that in Mauritius and are tackling now Johannesburg. Regarding our DNS initiatives, as you may know, AfriNIC runs two major DNS programs. The first one being the root server copy, by which we facilitate the deployment of either a K, L, or F route, while the second DNS initiative is the African DNS Support Program, by which we provide a secondary DNS service to CCTLDs across the continent. We currently have 26 zones that are part of the program. So if you're interested in any of these two programs, I invite you to go on one of these links and either respond to the form on the webpage or send us an email at dnsmaster@afrinic.net. On the application side, we were busy with the new member registration portal. As was said by Arthur, version 1 was delivered. And based on all the comments that we received from the community, we are busy making some adjustments and expect to release a second version pretty soon. We are also completing work related to the secure document management system, so as to ensure confidentiality of members' documents and ensure that they are stored securely. As of the WHOIS, you all know that we deployed a new WHOIS service a few months ago, I believe 3 months ago, as well as AfriNIC routing registry. So to tell you a little more about the WHOIS service, some of the challenges that we've been experienced on the old WHOIS. As you know, we've had that WHOIS since AfriNIC's inception, and we were having a lot of difficulties maintaining it, mainly because of the lack of proper documentation that was available, the fact that it was written in C, and we didn't have much resources to maintain it, and also a few functional bugs that were creating a lot of inconsistencies in the database. And last but not least, the old WHOIS was not IPv6 compliant. So we proceeded with a new WHOIS, which is Java-based and which offered a lot of advantages. Among which we can now have a granular ACL that can be applied. And we also were able to implement RFC 4880 appropriately, which concerns ASCII armored PGP key. So last but not least, our routing registry. It is now fully functional. And I would like to publicly thank Mark Tinka from CCOM and Joseph Tonnier from Camtel, who were very much collaborative, helping us in the test and being the first 2 organizations that actually populated AfriNIC routing registries with their objects. Our registry is now fully mirrored by RAP-NCC, RADB, APNIC, and entity communication. And what we've been doing to help our members do the transition between RIPE and AfriNIC registry is to organize a bootcamp during which we make sure we import all their objects from RAP-NCC registry, help them do sanitization if needs be, and commit those objects into AfriNIC registry. So if you wish to participate in one of the bootcamp, you are more than welcome to. You just send us an email at irr@afrinic.net. We also have a BUF, which is going to be at 5:30 this evening, to help members understand more about the routing registry and know how to proceed further. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Neria. That was just 7 minutes. Fantastic. So, members, we have about 12 minutes for questions and discussions. 12 minutes. First line, first talk. So the line is growing. So can we use just the microphone at the back so that I can have one line? And when I say no more join, no more join. But we will take everybody on the line. Okay.
Thank you, Sunday. My name is Elaine Aina from AfriNIC. So mine is not going to be a question, but I just want to check something. So AfriNIC got the recognition as the fifth RIR in April 2005 while we were in Mozambique. So I want to check in the room how many here in the room were in Mozambique at that time. So if you are, and then raise your hand. Okay, thank you.
Before you leave, Elaine, I don't want you to confuse us with statistics, so I will interpret. My interpretation is that AfriNIC has grown from 4, because I am counting you. Oh, sorry, 6. I am counting you, Adiel and APB, to all of us in this room. A round of applause. You see, statisticians have a way of confusing you. They show you data and don't tell you the meaning. So I conclude that we have a 4,000% growth. Another round of applause.
My name's Douglas Venango. My question is for the chair. During your presentation, you spoke about the intention of the board to appoint the outgoing CEO to our current board. My question is, I'm trying to understand on what premise you're trying to do this. My understanding of the constitution of the board and how appointments are made to the board, if you refer to section 13.4 of the constitution, it actually spells how many people are supposed to be on the board and how those members are elected to the board. I'm just trying to understand on what premise are we going to make the board appointment for the outgoing CEO?
Thank you. On the premise that if you read that same clause further, it says the board shall have the power to appoint those it considers will help facilitate, not in the exact words, its business as it deems fit. Whatever we do is not in a voting capacity, neither in a regional capacity, but just in a way to facilitate the work of the board. We do not want to appoint a staff who would be something that would scare the incoming chief executive. So we wanted to make sure we put in a system that would grow and will not self-destruct. Again, if the community feels that this is absolutely not something that should be done, we will be glad to take feedback. But our intention is clear. We want to assure institutional memory. And of course, if Adiel is willing to serve the community in that capacity, I think the community should be very, very excited and not be worried. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Alan Barrett. I was going to ask exactly the same question that Douglas just asked. I think you've given a good answer, but I have a question about terminology. Perhaps it's not right to call it a non-voting board member. Perhaps we should give it some other name. But I'm very keen to see Adele continuing to advise the board if he is willing to do that.
Thank you, Alan. Point taken. We will find a very sweet description that will serve our purpose.
Thank you. And if you'll allow me to ask another question, or should I join the back of the line?
Because you are so honest, please go ahead and ask.
Thank you. My question's about the financial health of AfriNIC. At the previous meeting in Djibouti, it seemed that in the previous year, in 2013, there was a deficit, at least there should have been a deficit, but somehow by currency conversions, it ended up being a small surplus. I'd like to know how that has changed. What are the current levels of AfriNIC's reserves, and how has it changed since 6 months ago? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please don't count this as a joke. It's not a joke. I'm very serious about it. But I think it will give me a very big pleasure this afternoon to invite to answer that question on behalf of the board. A round of applause for Mr. Andrew Austen. You won't know what pleasure I have to do this.
Hi, Alan. I know Sunday's looking very smug at the moment. Look, by all indications of the information that we've had coming back so far, we are looking like we are running in a surplus position. With regards to the current reserves at the moment, I have been in discussion with various board members and about requesting the actual numbers out of the statements, and I think that is something we'll continue to explore. But an official request has not gone from myself to the board for that yet, or the audit committee. But I think at the moment, if I'm looking at the numbers we've been presented so far, we are looking at running in a surplus position.
Thank you, Andrew. I still take pleasure in doing that because if you give too much trouble with the floor, we'll bring you to the board to come and solve the problem. A round of applause for Andrew, and thank you.
Okay.
Yes, next question.
Thank you. My name is Grégoire Eoumi from Benin. My first question is about AfriNIC head office. In the last meeting in Côte d'Ivoire, we heard that AfriNIC, we plan to move the head office. So I want to have an update about this.
Matter of correction, the statement was not that AfriNIC will plan. The statement is that AfriNIC will review its location and if need be.
So what is the update?
Review in progress. Data collection being done.
Okay.
Thank you. You've answered one question. Please join the back.
Yes, I have to.
No, join the back of the queue. We need to be efficient.
Sorry,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair, you did not mention from the beginning that it's going to be one question. You didn't set the rules.
That's not fair. I thought I did.
No,
but
you
if
didn't.
you are again challenging me, the community is absolutely in charge of running the community. So if you say you should come back to the front and you lose your turn, I am okay. It's your decision, sir. You are keeping him at the back. All right, go on.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. One of my comments about the boards has been raised by Alan and Douglas. My other comment to the board is in relation to board minutes. I think one of the reasons why we are having issues with our concerns about whether board is actually doing anything is because we don't actually see what they are doing. So I'm actually going to ask that board start to consider publishing its minutes. If it is somewhere, I apologize that perhaps I don't know where it is. Perhaps you could direct me to where it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your board is very sensitive to the feelings of the community, and we are working to do things in such a way that we do not create a tsunami that will consume us. So the board has resolved that all its resolutions will be published online beginning from this year. But I regret to tell you that for now, due to house cleaning steps in progress, I see Adiel raising a point of order. All right, Adiel, maybe I don't.
The resolutions are all published on the website in the board session.
Okay, thank you very much for that correction, Adiel. So the decision has been taken, it's been acted upon, and please clap for Adiel. He acts upon It acts upon board resolutions as soon as they are taken. Maybe we also need the PR department to do some work for the board. I think the community needs to know how hard the board is working. Maybe we are not singing the praise of the board sufficiently. So Gail, please look into doing some PR for the board. Okay. May I also appeal, let there be questions for the staff too. The board is feeling very uncomfortable answering all the questions.
Oui.
Yeah, next question.
Merci, Chair. Je continue en français.
I'm going to go on in French.
Okay.
Razvi Rahman du Gabon.
I'm from Gabon. I've got obviously many questions. I'm going to have my turn like everybody. My first question concerns the recruiting of the new CEO. You have seen, I think, all the discussions which are on the list. There's a comment. Is that the publication of that recruitment of the PDF which had been published for me, for Gabon, was redistributed, communicated 2 days ago. So it's and the closing of the closing date is for the 19th of December. I would like to mention here what I mentioned on the list. I think the timing is for the closing is a little bit just. It's too tight for the simple reason that you also mentioned that clearly that we don't have to create a tsunami. We have to take a time to do things well, correctly. We take time to elaborate our policies. We take time to elaborate our rules, so therefore we should take time to try to recruit the good, the suitable CEO. So I believe really that to change that date of the 19th, especially as in the timeline, when I look at that, you have planned on CEO interim CEO. Let's put the CEO interim CEOs and give time for the candidates of different countries to put in the candidate.
Can you please come back to the microphone, the front? I like fire on the mountain. There should be run. So how much time should we give? Please be very specific. It's not enough to say time is not enough, but what is enough?
I think a minimum of 3 months to collect.
I think a minimum of 3 months would be, in my point of view, enough. A minimum of 3 months, yeah.
The board will see
will see if that is an opinion. We'll cross-check with other opinions.
Merci. Je vais continuer aussi en français.
I'm going to continue in French. I also agree with what he just said. I give support to that. I think we have to push that date. 3 months indeed should be right one. My question.
Okay, you have to now go to the back of the queue. In accordance with the rules. Thank you.
Is it a comment? I think that we.
All right, I will take it now, but please be careful. So we have fair time. You stay now. No, stay, please, okay. But take note for the next time.
Okay, donc je vais continuer en français.
I'll continue in French. I was saying that concerning communication, that we need also, apart from the mailing list, we should also send mails to the members. We take a lot of decisions from the members. Who is the member? Who are these only the ones who come to the meetings? There are ASP who continues to work on the basis of appeal. So there are decisions. The decisions, when they are taken, we have to publish them, be it written on paper and sent officially to all the members. Thank you.
I am sorry, I am confused. What do you mean members, and what information are you talking about? Please be very specific.
Okay. Members is AfriNIC members.
The AfriNIC members.
Every member is on the member announced list, and that's
yes,
where we...
Is that enough? Some ASP still working by paper. So it is necessary for government or for some ISP to put a legal paper.
please, every time we take decisions, let us be conscious of those decisions. We took decision that we should only send electronic invoices. And we have been sending electronic invoices, and members have been paying their dues, which they receive electronically. And you want to convince me we should still send them paper? I just want to be sure we're on the same page.
The format of electronic invoices is good, so we can send a legal a communication like electronic voice, so the member can print and show the board, not notify that all member is not the head of the CEO of the
Okay, may I request that specific members that have this challenge, let them initiate a specific communication with AfriNIC so that we're really dealing with an issue and not just an opinion. I want to be very clear, and I'm willing from the perspective of the board to ensure that that is done. But we must be dealing with an issue, not an opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to repeat what I have said. I am not asking for resolutions. I'm not asking for board resolution. To be specific, section 19, subsection 10 of the bylaw requires that minutes be produced. And I think those minutes should be published. I understand that it needs to be approved maybe like 1 month, that it needs to be approved at the next meeting of the board. However, I think it should be published. My other...
Sheung, I have answered, but let me also repeat the answer. In as much as we recognize that there are so many issues that for now should, so that this organization can run efficiently, stay at the level of staff. Sometimes this issue comes to the level of the board. I will hesitate to publish all those minutes with issues that may be very, very sensitive for the efficient running of AfriNIC on a general available list on the internet in the name of transparency. Let us clean our house. When our house is very, very clean, we can allow guests go into our bathroom. I hope you will respect that position. I am making that here with a very high sense of responsibility. When we are clean enough, that will be done. It's recognized. I take it, and I assure you as your chair that it will be done. Okay?
Okay, let's not waste the 12 minutes that we have.
Thank you, Sean.
Oh, you agree that I have not actually made my question, right? I can say my question now, because that was the first one.
The minutes are going, so go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you. My other question is to HR. So when you say there's staff will be paid in performance will be 60%, and the year of experience or something will be 40%. I don't understand what you mean by practically what you mean by that, because are you basically saying that, okay, you employed to do so job, so if you are doing your job well, that job that you are paid for, because you are doing it well, you'll be paid more? Or you're saying that if staff A is doing what staff B is supposed to be doing, you're going to remove from the salary of staff B, and give it to staff A? Because it's very clear, your job description is clear. We don't need to compensate you for doing a good job, because that's what we expect. Even if it's going to be compensated, I don't see why it should be so high.
Can you limit the question, Sheung? Let him answer so we don't waste too much time, please. He understands you.
Mr. Chair, please take notes. This timing is not good. It's too short for us. We only have 6 months to have something like this. It's too short for us. Please take notes.
Please, before you leave the mic, I had to take 15 minutes away from the next session by pleading. because I recognize the fact that we should do this. There has to be a balance between giving information, taking feedback, and questions. Christian already understands the question. He is an HR professional. He will address it so that, we save quite a lot of this. Christian, please.
The salary increase, let's say we put a cap of 5% increase to the whole staff. What we do usually is we start with the 5%. Out of the 5%, we split it into two. 40% will be on the years of service. We've got a scale for that. And the remaining 60% will be on the performance of the individual. As I mentioned during my presentation, the performance is based at 70% on the measurable objectives that have been assigned to the employee at the beginning of the year. The remaining 30% will be based on the behavioral skills. So when you add these two together, these will represent at maximum 60%. And when you add this to the other part, that is the 40% based on years of service, which is defined according to a specific scale, then you've got the percentage of increase that the individual will get. We don't take from one pocket to put into the other pocket. We just put 5%, let's say. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be anything. And we start with the 5% as a cap, which is the maximum. So the guy who will have more than X years of service, he will get his 40% on this one. And the guy who's performed well, he will get his 100% on the other part. So excellent performance and added 2 years of service will give you maximum 100%. That's all. You can't exceed 100% anyway. Most people will get less than 100%, mainly based on performance. Okay? Have I replied?
Is it clear?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Avant de poser ma deuxième question,
before asking my second question, maybe a little contribution concerning the reaction of our friend before. Maybe it's going to be an object of a policy, I don't know. It would be great seeing that the reports, that the presentations which are being done concerning the services of AfriNIC for the members, service for the members, sometimes take time within a certain timing, or where we don't have enough time. It would be great that this presentation or this summary of reports be sent to us at the beginning of the sessions, or maybe 1 or 2 days before, so that we have time to be able to analyze them and to prepare our questions, because that's the only time we have to make face-to-face discussions with the people whom we have given a mandate to work within AfriNIC. Now is the time for my question. It is more for the CEO, the CEO who's going to leave us. I am preoccupied. I would really like to know. I don't know if there are anybody else in this room who have the same opinion. I would like, nevertheless, to know why our CEO is resigning. I didn't expect that. I suppose that, according to me, he was doing the job. So it would be great to be able to know, if possible, why our CEO has resigned instead of saying, instead of just saying that he resigned.
Thank you very much. I understand your question, but you must also know that the CEO is the person who is in the best position to answer that question. And I am sure you also understand that sometimes some things can be personal, and the individual may not want to discuss personal things. And second, let's even assume you work in a place and you want to leave because you are not pleased. Are you going to say you are not pleased, that is why you are leaving, and pull the house down? Some things require discretion. And I think as matured Africans, we should understand that, expect that, and act on that the way I have said it. Thank you. Go ahead.
Je pense que vous venez de le dire, c'est pour des raisons
I believe, I understand if that's for personal reasons. I just received the information. Maybe I missed something on the website, but I got information that the CEO was resigning. I really understand that that the CEO can resign for personal reasons, but it just should have been clearly mentioned. I'm sorry if I missed that information, but I didn't have it. So that if that it was for personal reason.
I understand, but I'm also saying if the board fired the CEO, the board will not say we just fired our CEO. So, I mean, it's whatever is the reason.
Talking about fire.
I guess I understand you and you now understand me too. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ken Yip Tong. I was a board member for 4 years from 2000 and 2004. Oh, I have a question coming back to Alan Barrett regarding the reserve. I recall very precisely one of the objectives of the AfriNIC board was to try and reach a reserve of 2 years of AfriNIC's operations. I was just going through the financial report ending 31st December 2013, and I was a bit concerned to see that the reserve level is only about 4 months. So is there a new policy on reserve, or if I could get some clarification, how come after 10 years the reserve of AfriNIC is only 4 months? Thank you.
Is Adele in the hall? Yes, Adele, I would like you to answer that question. If you don't mind, please. And then I will make some comments after Adele answers.
The issue of target on reserve level has been discussed thoroughly in the board. When the board took that resolution, AfriNIC budget was 1 million. So our reserve is 1 million. Now, that means the target is a moving target that you have to continue working on. So as a moving target, we are trying to follow the target, but it's not moving at the same rate as our surplus because we are growing. And we are reinvesting a lot of our income into growing the organization. When you're an organization that reinvests your own money in your growth, at some point, you use your surplus to finance your growth. So that's what is happening at AfriNIC. So that resolution is valid, was valid 4 years or 5 years ago. It's not valid today as such, but the objective is still there where we are working to achieve that. How long it will take us is another story.
Thank you very much, Adele. I purposely asked him to come and give that answer so that you all understand the fact that there's an objective. We're working towards it. The board did not fire Adele. The board appreciates Adele's contribution, and that is where the board is even looking at a way to bring him back to the board as a non-voting member. I think I was very clear about that in my presentation. A round of applause for Adele, please. Next.
Merci.
And this will be the last, please. We really have eaten into the time for the... All right, I'll take one more after you, just not to sound dictatorial, but that will be the last, please. I really need to bring this to an end. When we have open microphone, we can use it all again. Thank you.
Okay. Merci.
Thank you. My question is for Martine. Before in the presentation, she presented the statistics concerning the resources used. So I would like the resource SCA doesn't mean that it is really used. Do we have the statistics of the resources used instead of those assigned or allocated? Because allocated doesn't mean really used.
As registration services, we issue the IP addresses based on justified needs from the members. It's only if you're speaking about assigned PIs, so IP addresses assigned to organizations by AfriNIC, unless they come back for additional assignments, we usually, that's the only time when we'll check if they are really using the initial assignment or not. The same applies for LIR members as well.
Okay, last question. Thank you, Madhvi.
J'ai juste une petite dernière question.
A last small question. I would like to congratulate the AfriNIC staff for having been certified for being named for ISO 9000. And I have also a question which has come back on the list for the last 2 days. I mean, I would like to know if the fact that they have been nominated for, will they impose certain management rules concerning international standards? I'm talking about CEO recruitment also. There was a proposal to work with a recruitment cabinet or an external resource for certain quality in brackets. It's not that eternally we're not able to do so, but the fact that we are going towards ISO 9001 doesn't impose or is not going to recommend us to have a certain the things to be done in an international standard. Thank you.
La certification ISO
certification imposes a certain discipline to document so many processes. It took a lot of time, and therefore the objective to standardize them to ensure that any employee may follow all the processes without any difficulty, because it's rigid, it's to the point. Of course, if we have processes which have to satisfy international norms, we don't have any choice than to follow them. It's important because it's we who have imposed ourselves to get this certification so that things be done correctly. Thank you. I would like to add an important point. The certification ISO is not the origin of the methodology of work of AfriNIC. We already have our procedures which exist all those years, which enabled us to be able to allocate resources to our members. We just have formatted them in the ISO model so as to be able to respond to international standards. We are not ISO just to ISO label. It's only to be able to standardize our procedures to international standards, which for procedures we already have for years, and so that each employee of AfriNIC can work on his working procedure. I just wanted to add this element that our procedures existed already based on policies adopted by the community, which had been formatted under the ISO model so as to be able to answer to international standards. I would add this. It seems to me that AfriNIC is a third IR which is going to obtain ISO certification. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for all the questions. I would like to request that you please put your hands together for this wonderful staff for their presentations. I would like to make a closing comment by saying that if you attended this meeting 2-3 years ago, even last year, when a question is thrown to the staff, Adil may once or twice or thrice come to the microphone to add more clarifications to the issue. But today, they've stood their grounds. They have answered all questions. There is no clarification from Adiel. And this wonderful team is a legacy for Adele. A round of applause for them. And on that note, oh, Adele, you want to clarify what I said? Okay.
Someday you can't get away like that. Yes, I just want not to clarify, but to reinforce what you just said. On purpose, I didn't sit on the table for this update, and that was on purpose. Nobody prevent me to do that. It is just to reaffirm to the board that we have a team on the ground that is doing the work. It is not Adele. AfriNIC is beyond Adele alone. There are people there doing the work. And these guys need to be supported for them to achieve what they have to achieve. And I believe in them, and I know that they will do a very good job. Thank you.
Adele, don't go. Don't go. I have an answer for you.
Yeah, you can answer.
I want to answer you. On behalf of the board, we believe in them because we believe that you did select the best from Africa. And I want to assure you that we will work with them and we will ensure we get them a CEO that will work with them and make Africa very much better. Thank you. Thank you all. This session is over.
Thank you, everyone. So just after the session, there is the Internet Routing Registry BOF. I will ask everyone who wants to attend the BOF to just follow Yogesh. Yogesh, are you in the room? Yeah. Yogesh will bring you to the IRR BOF. So before leaving the room, regarding the gala dinner, make sure that you have an invitation because you will board the bus only if you have an invitation. Can you please listen to me, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you have your gala dinner invitation. If you do not have the invitation, you will not be able to board on the bus. So the bus are leaving at 7 at the reception of NSC, and it will go to the reception of Voila around 7:10, and to the reception of Suffren around 7:20. So that's it.